Clint Eastwood. American actor, director, producer, musician, was born on May 31, 1930 in San Francisco, California, USA. In 1954, at the age of 24, two opportunities presented themselves to him: studying commercial sciences or dedicating himself to acting, thanks to David Janssen and Martin Miller, two actor friends. He supports, without being too convinced, an audition for Universal. The production company signs him for $75 a week for 10 months. However, his career does not have an easy start. In fact, he appears in a series of B-movies where he is not even credited. Success came with the Western TV series Rowhead, for which, among other things, he was chosen randomly. He had in fact gone to visit a friend in the CBS-E1 studios of the company's managers. Seeing him, he considered him perfect for the role. Meeting with Sergio Leone. In the mid-60s, the partnership with Sergio Leone, master of Italian Western cinema, began. It is a partnership that will last for many years and that will bring both of them international fame. The A Fistful of Dollars and the Good, the Bad and the Ugly trilogy was in fact an unexpected success, thanks above all to the director's style in describing the frontier world. Thanks also to the protagonist himself in the role of the cold and ruthless cowboy, a role that seemed to have been tailor-made for Clint Eastwood. A curiosity, it seems that the famous poncho that Eastwood wears in the so-called Lion Dollar trilogy was never washed for good luck until the end of the making of the third film. From westerns to detective stories. At the end of the 1960s, Clint Eastwood founded his own production company in the USA, the Malpaso Company, abandoning the character of the lone gunfighter to take on that of the policeman with a brisk manner and Inspector Callahan, also called Henry the Carnage, at odds with his superiors. The Callahan series consists of 5 films, not all of which live up to the first Inspector Callahan. The Scorpio Case is Yours. Original title, Dirty Harry, directed by Don Siegel. Here the interpretation that Clint Eastwood offers us of the character is magnificent. 302. The film also has censorious misadventures, because it is accused of glorifying the daily fascism of those who take justice into their own hands. After completing the mission, despite bureaucratic obstacles and the ostracism of his superiors, Harry throws away his police badge. The Inspector Callahan film series The Scorpio Case is Yours, Dirty Harry, directed by Don Siegel, 1971-144 Magnum for Inspector Callahan Magnum Force, directed by Ted Post, 1973. Sky of Lead Inspector Callahan, The Enforcer, directed by James Fargo, 1976 Courage Get Killed Sudden Impact, directed by Clint Eastwood, 1983 Bet with Death the Deadpool, directed by Buddy Van Horn, 1988 with Don Siegel. Eastwood establishes a close friendship relationship of mutual respect, and the same director in fact directs Escape from Alcatraz, 1978, which has become a true classic of prison cinema. The 70s and 80s, direction and politics in the 70s, he also began to work behind the camera, a choice that would give him true consecration in the Olympus of cinema. Clint Eastwood's first directorial dates back to 1971, I Shiver in the Night. Others follow, not all of them important. In the 80s, he also dedicated himself to a political career, becoming mayor of Carmel by the Sea, a place where he himself lives. After Ganny, 1986, in 1988 he directed Bird, the story of jazz musician Charlie Parker, a film acclaimed by critics but opposed by blacks, including Spike Lee, who accused him of having taken over a culture that was not his. The great hits of the 90s. In the 90s, Clint Eastwood had one success after another. In 1992, he directed Ruthless with Jim Hackman and Morgan Freeman. twilight western and far from the stereotypical myths of films about the American West. This film finally wins the coveted statuette. There are actually 4 Oscars for the film, for Best Film, Best Director and Leading Actor himself. Supporting Actor, Hackman. In 1993 he directed a magnificent Kevin Costner in A Perfect World, a poignant story of a man who, after having escaped and kidnapped a child, launches into an escape that is as frenetic as it is in vain. With this film, Clint Eastwood stands out as one of the most sensitive and ethical directors on the American scene. He continues to direct great films such as The Bridges of Madison County, 1995 with Meryl Streep, Absolute Power 1996 con Gene Hackman, 12 O'Clock in the Garden of Good and Evil 1997 with Jude Law and Kevin Spacey, Until Proven Otherwise 1999 with James Woods, Space Cowboys 2000 with Tommy Lee Jones and Donald Sutherland. Father of 5 children, in 1996 he married TV presenter Dina Ruiz for the second time. Between his first and second marriage, he lived with his colleague, the actress Sondra Locke, for 11 years. The 2000s of 2002 is A Debt of Blood. The following year, 2003, comes a new masterpiece, Misty Creever with Sean Penn and Kevin Bacon, a tragic story of the friendship of 3 men ruined by the violent death of one of them's daughter. The film received 6 Oscar nominations, won by both protagonists, while Eastwood received 2 nominations for Best Film and Best Director. Clint Eastwood has therefore established himself as a director of great value, ready to tackle increasingly difficult themes and always with a rigor and unique intelligence that make him much loved both at home and in Europe. On the European continent, his films always receive special recognition at the Venice Film Festival. Here in 2000, he was awarded the Lion for his career. After 50 years of career and 60 films, the actor and director has reached an artistic maturity that fully justifies his status as a Hollywood icon. With his work Million Dollar Baby, Clint Eastwood took the scepter of Best Director and Best Film at the 2005 Oscars from Martin Scorsese's The Aviator, among his other works from the 2000s. We Remember Flags of Our Fathers, 2006. Letters from Iwo Jima, 2007. Gran Torino, 2008. In 2009, in the annual Harris poll, Paul was voted the favorite actor of the year, displacing Denzel Washington from the top of the rankings in 2010 and 2020. Invictus was released in 2010, inspired by the life of Nelson Mandela, with Morgan Freeman in the role of Mandela and Matt Damon in the role of Francois Pienaar, captain of the South African national rugby team. It is based on the novel Fleeing the Enemy, Nelson Mandela and the Game That Changed a Nation by John Carlin. After Hereafter in the 2010s, Clint Eastwood devotes himself to intense biopics, telling the story of U.S. national heroes, in particular J. Edgar, American Sniper on the life of Chris Kyle, Sully on the life of Cheasley Sullenberger and 2021's Richard Jewell is Cremacho Homecoming. Clint Eastwood is passionate about music, especially blues, jazz and bebop. In his career, he has worked on numerous musical projects. He also produced albums and soundtracks for his own films. Personal quote: "When a man with a gun meets a man with a rifle, the man with the gun is a dead man." Clint Eastwood.